Right, so feeders, this one. And again, commercial fishing, I suppose if anything, it's probably the biggest or the widest choice in feeders that you pretty much have for any type of fishing that there is, be it river fishing or bream fishing or whatever. That there's such a variety of different feeders that are available to us now, it can be mind-boggling. So again, for me, keeping it simple as possible. It's the same with absolutely everything. I want to have a certain feeder to do a certain thing, and if I'm completely honest, the biggest thing I want to emphasize on is when it comes to choosing what feeder I use, it's the size of the footprint or the amount of bait that I'm putting into my peg. I mean, that's for me is the number one choice in what dictates what feeder I use, which I've spread them all out, utterly Blue Peter styley, just to show you pretty much. I've got the pellet feeders, the flatbed feeders, and I've got a traditional, the normal old school method feeder type things. Not that old, are they? But yeah. And you can see the different size piles that they achieve. You know what I mean? And I want to be using the right size pile depending on what I'm going to be doing. If I'm completely honest, I'm a big fan of these two feeders. Because fishing like a bit of a tart wherever I go, I'm all into keeping things as tight as possible. And I find that a method feeder can spread a little bit too much and give me too much of a bigger bed. But it's definitely right in certain applications. If you go to the bigger waters like Boddington's or say Larford or Barston, there you want a decent footprint, as I call it, for the fish to home in on. So that's my first choice. Be it I choose a method feeder because I want a big footprint, a pellet feeder because I want the tiniest amount of bait for the fish to home in on, or a flatbed if I want that in between. I mean, it all depends on the amount of bait I want to put in. So the second thing I want to concentrate on is the weight of it. You know what I mean? That might sound obvious, but the weight of it's going to dictate how far I can chuck it, how accurately I can chuck it, independent of what weather. Excuse me. But also importantly is whether it stays where I chuck it, which is something you've got to think about quite a lot, especially if you're chucking to islands, on slopes, up edges, whatever. That if you're fishing on an incline, that might dictate that you want a slightly heavier feeder than normal, just to make sure it stays there. I mean, it's been mentioned a million times on the internet before, and how imperative it is for once you create that little pile on the bottom, once your feeder's landed, that pile's creating straight away. The last thing you want to do is make it move. If it moves, you might as well wind and cast again. It is completely spoiled. But yeah, for me, it's about keeping things simple, choosing the right feeder I want to do, the right weight, and say the right style. So the beauty in our feeders is, if I get it a bit wrong, so they're all transferable. Do you know what I mean? With the simple stem system that we have in them all, I can easily whiz my stem out and I can swap to any size or any type of feeder I want within our Matrix range, which makes it massively versatile. That I can even go as far to put a feeder on. If I'm catching little on a feeder and I feel like I've fed too much, I can swap to a smaller feeder, I can swap to a bomb, I can swap to a method. You can swap to anything you want without having to break it down and chuck in again. So I say it makes things really simple for me, makes it easy to make choices, and keeps my fishing nice and versatile if you want, so I can do what's right on the day.